Welcome to Heartbreak and Hope. We are doing a little bit of an experiment this morning. As we head into the summer, we have a variety of scheduling challenges, both weeks when we're off, weeks when we're away, weeks when one of us is here and the other one isn't. So we're going to experiment a little bit with some episodes that are less about things immediate and timely, and more about topics that are on our hearts and minds. And so this episode will come out to you this summer on one of those weeks. And so Nancy's saying, who are we in conversation with? What are we in conversation with? And I would even say, why are we in conversation?
Yeah. Is theology necessary to achieve the common good? And I would add, is art necessary to achieve the common good? Because the two things have a lot of overlap, because art is in conversation with the public. I was thinking about Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who was a public theologian and was in a congregational denomination in Germany, but spoke up because his denomination was going with the Nazis, and he's like, no, we shouldn't do that. And
this is an interesting question. We talked about Bonhoeffer when I was in seminary. And many people consider him an inspiration and the martyr. And so it's really curious to me that he has become a darling of the white Christian nationalists.
Yep.
And they are holding Bonhoeffer up to support actions against Muslims in the Middle East.
Yeah, which is weird.
So weird.
Because Bonhoeffer taught at Union Theological Seminary in New York, and he went to church in black churches in Harlem, which his white colleagues didn't do. And he caused a little bit of a ruckus, but I believe, and I don't remember where he wrote that, but he's like, that's where I learned, that we have to stand with our siblings that are being oppressed. And so he had this theology that is close to liberation theology, but it's ahead of the official historic time of that. That puzzles me. The movie that came out is actually good, but it's like,
is it?
why would it's historically accurate. It's not that it's good, but they know so much about him. How can they distort that? But then again, this is something I thought about with Constantine and converting. Because then he could put the cross or the fish symbol of Jesus and win the battles, right? Where'd that come from? Why do I have to do that? Right?
Well, and how many times has Jesus's name been invoked in causes that Jesus literally would have resisted? Talk about co-opting a religious figure.
Right. And that's the cheap salvation. Again, Bonhoeffer, cheap grace, right? That all you have to do is become a member of the Jesus Club, and then you'll be saved some other time. But like, you have to be willing to die so that we have fodder for our cannons, right? Like, none of this is real, but it does, like, the real things that Jesus said, or at least that we think he said and did, do not fit their narrative. So
it seems that there is public theology on all sides, right?
right.
So then are different theological perspectives in dialogue with each other through public theology?
If we can dialogue with all the perspectives, right? Because I don't know, it's not that I don't want to dialogue with people with opposing views as mine. But I have a problem dialoguing with people that don't think I am as human as they are.
I was just thinking that because, I'm starting this program and I'm really excited about it. It's through Pittsburgh Theological Seminary, which is a Presbyterian seminary. And my classmates are coming from all different backgrounds. And I know that some of the backgrounds they're coming from are actively opposed to the acceptance of LGBTQ folks.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm wondering, what it's going to be like for me showing up as a queer person,
Right. Yeah, well, because I know that, is it PCUSA, the progressive?
Yeah. Yeah.
A bunch of my professors in seminary were PCUSA, even though the seminary was a UCC seminary. So, if you're a progressive divinity school, the progressive side will show, right? In the conversation, there will be an eye towards, hey, but this is not our values, right? Hey, but these aren't the values and again, the accountability, the thing that I just read, that the conversations of accountability, and that's kind of why it's hard to have a conversation with white Christian nationalists, because they're not accountable.
Well, and I think that that's another interesting thing about, so many of these kind of non-denominational congregations that have grown in the last quarter century. They're not accountable to anybody. They are not part of any denomination, so they don't have any accountability systems. So, nobody is holding them responsible for treating their people well, and for communicating good theology. Yeah.
Yeah.
And isn't that I might say something really, when there's no accountability, you start to edge into cult territory.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because the lack of accountability is what makes a cult possible.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. A lack of accountability promotes coercion.
Yes.
In a religious sense, that's what cults are. And you lose the spiritual element when you go with, I am the one truth, that I am this human person that is going to tell you what is true, and you can only listen to me. I mean, that's
And
a
it's
cult
bad
leader.
theology because it's not in conversation with anything.
Anyone. Yeah.
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 And so public theology, it, even Sunday worship here, I would say, I mean, there are aspects of public theology in that we're on YouTube and anybody in the world can find us.
Mm-hmm.
But in practice, we're only in dialogue on Sunday morning with ourselves. And granted, I mean, for every 100 people in the pews, there's 110 different perspectives in a
Yeah.
UU congregation. But I think the difference then with public theology is that you're opening up the conversation to be with more than just UUs.
Right. And so, if I may say this, what is more public theology is public facing theology is the Tuesday afternoon vigil, which is currently suspended because of road work, but to stand there witnessing on King's Highway,
Mm-hmm.
that's a way. It's not the only way, but it's a way to show our values. There's other things that myriads of things we can do, but this is one type of public theology in the public square. No, we don't want ICE in this city. We value our, Black siblings, trans siblings, etc. Like we want all the people to enjoy what we all do, like the right to exist. So.
And I think it's also public theology because people do stop and sometimes engage in conversation.
Mm-hmm. Or honk, which is maybe they can't stop, but they honk. I like it when bus drivers honk.
I have a closing. I'm going to do our usual, which is to pull a card from Trisha Hersey's rest deck as part of the NAF ministry. And I want to say that this is a form of public theology because what Hershey is doing with the NAP ministry is asserting that we all, each and every one of us, have inherent worth and dignity, and that our value as humans is not dependent upon what we can produce.
Yes.
And that is a theological statement.
Indeed.
So here's a random pick. Naps help me wake up. Speak these words aloud to yourself. Rest helps me wake up to possibilities. My rest is about expansion and embracing the miracle of being human. When I wake up from the limited thinking given to me by exhaustion, a world of invention will open to me. I am waking up to lay down in the beauty of rest and care. Amen.
Amen.